Hey everyone, this is Justice and thank you for coming on to my video. This is going to be another Journal with Me episode, and as you saw from the very front, that is the last Journal with Me that I posted, so once you're done with this video, if you're looking for more, go ahead and take a look at that one. As you saw from the title, this is going to be involving my big ol' cat, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. So his name is Whitaker Wigglebottom Basket. He has those three names, and I guess I'll start going into them. So his name is Whitaker. It's not spelled with the typical spelling because with how I spell it, there is an expletive right in the middle of it, which greatly defines a big part of his personality. He got Wigglebottom because whenever he was a teeny tiny baby cat, you know how cats do the thing where they wiggle their rumps right before they pounce on something? He did that, except he did it forever before he would jump, and it was the cutest, weirdest thing to me, because he's my first cat. He is my very first pet that I have taken care of on my own. Like, of course you're gonna have some pets whenever you're younger that are basically your parents' pets, but they say that they're for you. But Whitaker was mine, and all mine. My mom was pretty against me getting a cat, and at this point I was in my senior year of high school. I was getting ready to move to college, and a friend of mine from the college I dual enrolled at was having kittens. And so I took it upon myself to say, hey, I'm getting a cat. Not, may I get a cat? Can I get a cat? I'm getting a cat. And so after classes one day, we went to her house, and I was looking at all the little kittens. There were maybe 5 kittens, and they were all kind of playing around and minding their business and like hiding under the couch and chasing each other. But this one little gray puffball was just staring at me. He was just being weird and staring at me. And he kind of just like walked over and he was like, "Who are you? What are you doing? What's up?" He was completely ignoring his brothers and sisters playing tag under the couch to come and see what was up with me. And I felt like it was the scene from Lilo and Stitch where Lilo goes to the dog shelter and she just sees this one and they're like, "Are you sure you want that one?" And he like picks his nose and eats it, and Lilo is just like, "Yep, he's the one." That's how I ended up with Whitaker. And his last name, Basket, that's because before he had the middle name, I wanted to call him Whitaker Basket because it was really close to Wicker Basket. And it's just one of those stupid things that I like. It's kind of like naming your cat Pants. Wicker Basket, but Whitaker Basket. So, after I got him, I drove him home and he cried the entire way. From my school to my house, it was approximately an hour's drive, and so I put him in the little carrier, he cried all the way home, and then I took him to my room and kind of opened it up, and he sat there. He sat in that little carrier for a little bit, but not as long as I was anticipating, because looking through YouTube videos and stuff, I was seeing like, the cat's probably going to be in there for a really long time. Just be patient with them and give them their space. They're in a new area and you need to respect that. He was there for a little bit and he decided to start exploring. And just like you saw in that little clip, he just decided that wherever he goes, it's his. And whenever he was a baby, he was the tiniest little thing. It's really hard to believe that something so big was once so little. If you, like, get a pair of socks and ball it up, that was maybe the size that he was. And he had the shortest little dumb tail, and he would... This is one of my favorite memories of when he was a kitten. Whenever I would do my makeup before school at my vanity, he would jump up to my vanity, and it has a little spot. So you have the actual desk part of it that you put things on, and then there's going to be another little drawer beneath it. It's completely open, so there's nothing for you to pull out. he would always wiggle himself into that and then just stare at me and play with me and paw at me while doing my makeup. And he would just sit in that little part of my vanity, and it was the cutest thing in the world. And I would always feel so bad going to school and leaving him because I had wanted a cat for years at that point. And so I was like, I finally have a cat and I have to go to school. I sure wish that was my problem now. It's definitely exactly how your parents describe it, where they're just like, you think that the problems you have are problems now, but just you wait. And he grew with me. I took him to college with me, and I had to pay out the wazoo for an apartment instead of a dorm, which, if you compare the pricing, it's very similar. I just had to drive to school instead. But I got to have my cat. And around that time is whenever my boyfriend and I started talking about living together. And so he would visit me every so often. We were long distance, and so every weekend, I think, we would take turns visiting each other. And Danny, he would come over, and Whitaker at this point was in his adolescent phase. He was no longer a cute bouncy kitten, but he was also not a grown man cat yet. And so he was just lusting for blood. He was already fixed at that point because I just didn't want to deal with that, but he was the most rambunctious little thing in the world. He would basically throw hands with Danny. He would stand up on his hind legs like Kangaroo Jack and just start punching. And that's okay for a little bit, but as he got bigger and it hadn't stopped, it started actually hurting. Because at first it was like, oh, how funny, this little cat's hit me with its little cotton bud hands. But as he started to get weight and go into a higher weight class, I guess, it started to hurt a little bit. And we would start wearing oven mitts and like play with him because he was just so destructive. I don't know if that's a normal thing for all cats, but he had so much energy. Like, I would walk into the living room and he would like attack my calf and like body slam it and try to bite it. And he was just such a weirdo. And at one point, he became such a problem to where we actually had to sit down and be like, I know that it's not right to give up on animals, but he is causing such a stress that we might have to get rid of him. And it was after that point that he started calming down and becoming the big man cat that you see now. Mr. Whitaker got very, very happy once we adopted Miss Lulu. Miss Lulu is a Humane Society kitty. She is a Siamese Hemingway. He is a Norwegian forest cat, I should mention, so he's giant compared to her. But he just wanted a little friend. So we adopted Miss Lulu Lemon Drop on Christmas Eve, and he treated her like the most princessy of princesses that there ever was. He pampers her, he loves her. She's like a little special needs cat, and so I guess he feels responsible for her, and so he is like her buddy in the buddy program. He makes sure that everything that she does is okay and that nothing's gonna hurt her and that she remains fine, and that calmed him down a lot. He went from this horrible little boxer cat to this calm zen little baby just because we got him a little friend that he loves and he loves to spend time with. And he's just the most cuddly little licker ever. And it's the best. Whitaker's been here for me forever, and it's going to be really sad whenever he gets old, because I'm going to be real sad thinking about how he was this rambunctious little kitty that would fight, and then he's old. But we're not going to go there today, because he's got like 15 years before that happens, probably. Anyways, this tale about Whitaker has really nothing to do with the journaling. I just figured I'd let you know since he was being adorable during this process. But if you like this video, please don't forget to comment and subscribe. And I really hope to see you in the next one. Leave me any questions that you have and tune in. Thanks for watching. Bye.